Hey, this is Bill Steffen. Thanks so much for joining us today. Hey, we've got some great trivia coming up here at the end of this video related to the number 12. So I hope you'll hang on for that. What a great day it was on Friday. We had some sunshine out here, and Friday evening we saw that beautiful full moon up in the sky. By the way, Monday through Thursday, we had only 17% of possible sunshine. So we had more sunshine on Friday than we had in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday combined, which is really kind of neat. First full moon, or the full moon here this April is called the pink moon, after the pink phlox and the pink blossoms that we get this time of year. The names that are pretty common that we use today came from the Iroquois peoples. And this is also a micro moon, and that means the moon is just slightly smaller than it would normally be. The moon kind of goes back and forth as the moon gets a little bit closer to the Earth, it gets bigger, and it gets a little farther away, and then it gets just a little bit smaller by about 7%. By the way, if you went to the moon, you would only weigh 1/6 of what you do here on Earth. So if you want to lose some weight, that's an easy way to do it, I guess, is just go to the moon. Hey, look at this. This is kind of interesting. This is 72-hour precipitation. Now, precipitation is rain plus melted snow together. And you can see kind of a pattern here with the precipitation starting in an arc out in Oregon there, and then going across the northern United States and then ending over in New England. That pattern is sometimes called the Ring of Fire pattern, and it occurs when there's a ridge of high pressure over the southern plain states, and that's kind of what we have right now. This pattern should hold for a good portion of the summertime. And what that means is it's going to be a really hot and dry summer across like western Nebraska down into Texas and west back out to Arizona, where they're already picked up a couple of 100-degree days out there. But that pattern is notable for giving us an occasional thunderstorm, heavy thunderstorm, a quick passing thunderstorm, but one with some gusty winds. So we'll look for that here during the summer when they get those storms rolling on through. But all in all, it should be a nice summer. This is 72-hour snowfall, and you can see Michigan does not have any blue. I can't remember the day when we, in fact, going all the way back to November, where we didn't have someplace in Michigan that was getting a snowflake or two. You can see a little bit of snow in the Cascade Mountains out there, already over 580 inches of snow on the season for Mount Baker out in Washington. Snowing from Glacier National Park down toward Yellowstone there, and a little bit of snow in the mountains of Colorado as well. And then snow on the East Coast. Look at the snow there that's going to fall at the Catskills up to the Berkshires and up into New England. I mean, it's not impossible. There could be some second week of April snow flurries in New York and Boston, which is pretty unusual. All right, let's move on and take a look at our sponsors for today: Complete Care Concierge and Ace Hardware Handyman. Take a listen.
Need a fast, efficient, and affordable cleaning service? Complete Care Concierge has you covered. Serving all of West Michigan, we offer one-time, daily, weekly, and bi-weekly cleans, plus move-in, move-out. We also service apartment hallways and laundry rooms. Our work is guaranteed, gift cards are available, and we even clean on weekends. There's no better way to say I love you than giving a tired mom a break from dishes and laundry. Are you a busy professional? Pamper yourself by taking vacuuming and dusting off your plate. Office manager, keep your business looking and feeling its very best. Call 616-264-1397 today for a spotless space and total peace of mind.
When your home needs help, you might not know where to start. Why not ask Ace? We're always here to help with Ace Handyman Services. Our talented craftsmen handle everything from drywall and carpentry to doors and kitchens. We're the neighbors you trust to get the job done right. Let's get started. Book your handyman appointment today. Ace Handyman Services, bringing helpful to your home.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Well, here's a look at a chance of severe thunderstorm for today, and you see most of the country is not going to see any thunderstorms. By the way, the weather should be good this weekend for the Masters Golf Tournament down in Augusta. They had, of course, a lot of damage on the course from a hurricane that passed on through. I think that was Helene that did the damage down there, and they had to clean all of that up. The course actually looks slightly different because a number of trees were taken down by that hurricane. But anyhow, just a marginal or level 1 risk for parts of Wyoming, Montana, and South Dakota, and that would be for just maybe 1 or 2 isolated strong wind gusts out there. Most of the country is very quiet, and that's good after the severe weather that we had here about a week ago. Well, let's take a look right now at what we have for Sunday. You can see that the light green comes into Michigan. There's no dark green, so the light green is just a general thunderstorm, and that means not severe. So it's not impossible there could be a flash of lightning somewhere here Sunday afternoon or Sunday night, but really wouldn't be anything, really not much of anything at all. No big severe weather outbreaks expected here across the country this weekend. We'll take a look at Monday. Here we have what is the equivalent of a slight risk. They changed the pattern here a little bit when they go into day 4. They don't put on the general thunderstorm outlook here. They just put on areas where there could be a slight or enhanced risk, and that's a slight risk. And, that's the area that doesn't need any rain. Cincinnati has already had 10 inches of rain, or I think it was 9.94 inches of rain so far this month. Louisville is 10 inches above average for the year so far. So that area along the Ohio River Valley has seen enough rain. There's a lot of water in the fields that they have to drain out before they can do their planting down there. But that's the severe weather outlook for Monday. Our headlines: mostly sunny skies today. We'll have a chance of showers for Sunday and on Monday. They'll be widely scattered and not terribly heavy. Gulf of Mexico moisture is cut off at the moment, so we're not anticipating any heavy amounts of rain here. Warmer for the weekend. We should be upper 50s tomorrow, a little cooler near the lake. And after Monday, the cooler weather moves back in on Tuesday. That's the day when we should see temperatures back into the 40s. So we kind of go up and down here a little bit. But today, the best day of the bunch, 57 degrees, sunshine for most of the day. It will be cooler near Lake Michigan by about 10 to 12, 15 degrees, even if you're out on one of those piers or breakwalls walking around. Enjoying the day. It'll be a little chilly over by the lake. Much of the day temperatures there will only be in the 40s. And we start out the day with a low temperature of around 28. There's a full moon. I don't have a full moon icon. I just have the crescent moon here in my palette. So that's what we have up there, but it's really a full moon. Humidity, 35% minimum this afternoon, so some dry air around. Winds will be kind of variable. Southeast to south in inland areas, it'll turn southwest off the lake if you're in the lakeshore areas, but only around 5 to 10 miles an hour. Now look at the 3-day forecast. We're calling for sunshine here today. There'll be a chance of some scattered showers, not an all-day rain for Palm Sunday. And then for Monday, a chance for showers, maybe an isolated thunder shower thrown in there. I'm not for sure if any of those will develop or not, but maybe. Now on to take a look at some high temperatures here for the day today. We'll be seeing temperatures during the day today, perhaps getting up into the upper 50s in inland areas. I would suspect that temperatures up into the upper peninsula of Michigan will be in the upper 40s to around 50 as well. So rather cool weather expected here for the day today. And if we can go on and take a look at the next one here, this is for Saturday, and you can see temperatures pretty much statewide in the low 50s. Up across the UP, the snow will be melting. The ice is all melted off from that area that's had the ice storm. And by the way, today, golly, at I think it was 1:15 I logged it, there was still over or around half, I think it was 49.1% of Montmorency County was still without power. And golly, we're going to be approaching here after the weekend, a couple of weeks here without power for those poor folks up there. There were still about 15 to 20% of Sheboygan County, Emmett County, Otsego, and Escoda counties without power. And they make slow progress. They had, I think, 800 poles to replace, and they just don't have 800 poles hanging around. They're not anticipating, an event like this, but this was just a horrendous ice storm for northeastern lower Michigan. For Sunday, here's a look at some high temperatures for you. First of all, we're at Saturday right now. Here's a look at Sunday. And the whole state is green. That means the whole state will be seeing temperatures in the 50s. We may get into the 60s down toward the Indiana border real briefly. You can see South Bend up at 65. And up to the north, the snow will be melting, not any heavy rain. So we're not anticipating any really bad flooding, though there will be some minor flooding up across the UP. as that large snowpack continues to melt. Monday's temperatures, we're still on the warm side, but you can see the cooler air up there toward Duluth and Ironwood. That'll be filtering on in to bring us cooler temperatures here during the day on Monday. So let's take a look right now at what we have ahead here for us. Cooler weather at the lake today, 57 degrees. I think we can reach 60 here Sunday and Monday. Again, maybe a touch cooler near Lake Michigan. We got the shower symbol there, not an all-day rain, but just a chance of a shower. Chance of a shower probably about 50% on Sunday and 60 or 70% on Monday as a cold front comes on through. I can't rule out a shower here Tuesday morning, but let's leave the rain out for that. It should be dry during the afternoon with maybe a smidgen of sun. And Wednesday looks like a sunny day before we pick up another chance of showers here Thursday and Friday. If you're looking ahead to Easter Sunday, it's not going to be a really warm day here. We'll probably see a high temperature of around 50-ish or thereabouts, maybe 52. That's what we're looking at this far out, but I'm not anticipating any really warm weather here for Easter weekend. So the long-range outlook is in. The 8 to 14-day outlook here calls for temperatures to be a little bit warmer than average. Average temperatures are up around 60, so that would give us a lot of really mild days. And with the mild air pushing in, that will kind of push the tulips along here. You can see that above average written out over that high plains area, and that's the area where we're going to be we're concerned about drought and some real large heat waves here for the late spring and summer. That southern plains getting back into the southern Rockies. And rainfall near to above average here. If there's any real heavy weather, the most likely place to see that during that April 19 to 25 period is down in the southern plains states, Oklahoma, Texas, probably a couple of days when they'll be tracking severe weather down there. Good weather if you're going to Florida, by the way. For much of the rest of this month of April, they should be seeing sunshine and some warm temperatures. Well, we got some interesting stuff here for you. Michelle and Alex coming together, and I'll talk about this a little bit. First of all, we're so excited about the Broncos defeating Denver and advancing to the finals of the National NCAA hockey tournament here. You can see those on ESPN2. And what is that? 203 maybe on Comcast cable that I would have to watch it. But you know, if you're looking for something to do as the Masters golf tournament, maybe that winds down here, you might want to turn over to ESPN2 and cheer on the Broncos. They got a great team this year, and it's really exciting to see them reach the finals here. Okay, on this date, a lot of interesting things happen on this date. On this date in April 12, 1917, the Michigan State Police were founded. 1,170 state troopers today. We certainly appreciate the work they do, though it was necessary during World War I, and they did a lot of prohibition enforcement in the early years when Michigan was dry and Ohio was not. So that was interesting. But we salute the Michigan State Police, founded on this date back in 1917. On this date in 1861, the U.S. Civil War, which sometimes is called the Uncivil War, started. It began when Confederate forces fired on Fort Sumter, and that, I believe, was in South Carolina. So, and of course, that dragged on for 4 years, finally ended. There were, if you take a look at the Veterans Home on Monroe, north of the Veterans Home there's a cemetery, and there are Civil War casualties that are buried there. And I know I've been out there with some of the Boy Scouts putting flags on the graves for the summertime out there, but really a tragic episode in our U.S. history. We're starting in 1861. And in this date in 1983, Harold Washington was elected the first African-American mayor of Chicago. I grew up in the Chicago area, so I'm very familiar with that. There was Harold Washington was a master of the pregnant pause. He knew that newspapers, especially, he really thought out the quotes that he used and used his words very carefully, knowing that the newspapers would have to copy down every word, and he'd rather have just exactly what he wanted to say. There was a succession of mayors, one of which did not do a very good job of plowing the snow. And that mayor was replaced, and we had a succession of mayors there. But Harold Washington died too soon. I believe he had a heart attack, if I'm not mistaken. and died too soon. But Harold Washington, mayor of Chicago, and he started his reign in 1983. This comedian and late-night talk show host was born on April 12, 1947. So, wow, he's getting up there, isn't he? I put him at 78. He wasn't from Michigan, but from Indiana. And Indiana, that would be David Letterman, who was from Indiana. He often talked to his mother, who was back in, Muncie or Ball. He went to Ball State, I know that. He's a Hoosier, as is my wife, by the way. She is also a Hoosier. She was actually born in Illinois because the hospital was on the Illinois side of the border, but she grew up in the state of Indiana. So that's interesting. We should come up with the top 10 list. Okay, we have some 12 trivia for you. And I'm not going to know the answer to some of these here, but we'll see how close you come here. Who is the 12th president? Now, the first thing I do is I start going, Washington, Monroe, Madison. Golly, I would guess maybe Tyler was in there. He may have been 14th or thereabouts. See if we can get the answer. Who was our 12th president? It was Zachary Taylor. Okay, Zachary Taylor was the 12th president. More 12 presidential trivia coming up. Who was Zachary Taylor's vice president? Wow, now this was probably a vice president who became president so that we would know about him, because if he was somebody that nobody remembered, like maybe Spiro Agnew or somebody like that, they kind of would fade away into oblivion. So we'll have to guess a president. Harrison, maybe? Let's take a look. Millard Fillmore. You remember the comic strip on Sunday mornings that you'd read Mallard Fillmore? But Millard Fillmore was our 12th president. He looks distinguished, doesn't he? Okay, next 12 trivia question here. What continent has 12 sovereign countries? Okay, not North America. Let's see. Not Australia, obviously. Not Antarctica. Asia has an awful lot of countries, and Europe does too. Let's go with South America. Okay, and look at that, South America. French Guiana is an overseas department of France. So I believe they still there's 3 countries up there toward the top of South America. There's French Guiana, Guyana or British Guiana, I believe, and Suriname, which was, I believe, Dutch, and in fact, they still may speak Dutch down there. But you don't hear about them too often. Oh, here we go again. I'm going to really embarrass myself here. 12th book of the Bible. Okay, Genesis, Exodus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Leviticus. I don't know. I guess Nehemiah. Let's see what the answer is. The answer is 2 Kings. My wife and I are reading through the Bible in a year, so we're going through it here, and I should pick up on some of this stuff. All right, I will remember that now because I've just embarrassed myself in front of everybody. 12th book of the New Testament. Okay, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Romans, Acts, Romans. I don't know. Or let's go with Colossians. Yeah, I got that one right. Okay, there we go. Okay, very cool. We haven't gotten that far in our readings yet. 12 degrees Celsius is what Fahrenheit temperature? That would be 53.6. Those I know. And being a meteorologist for many years, we're used to looking at Canadian temperatures and in our head doing the conversion so that we know what's going on there. But that's pretty easy for a meteorologist. All right, what else got? In the 12 days of Christmas, what is the 12th day? Okay, let's see. Pipers piping, drummers drumming, maids a milking, which is, I think, the swans are swimming. Yeah, the lower the number, the more you're going to remember. Okay, let's see. 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying. Pipers piping. Would it be pipers piping? Let's take a look. Okay. Those look like 12 pipers piping. Okay, that's kind of, you know what we need? We need a 12 days of weather or something like that. We could have 12 cumulus clouds, 8 barometers. We could kind of snazzy it up or something like that. Maybe I can put Ellen Baca to work on that, and we can come up with something there. 12 days of weather or something like that. Maybe just we could end with an EF5 tornado or something like that, and assign it to some place where it won't bother anybody. Of the 12 disciples, who is the doubter? That would be doubting Thomas was the doubter. After Christ appeared to the apostles, and Thomas said that he wouldn't believe unless he put his fingers in Christ's wounds. So our doubting Thomas, and I can sympathize with him. I'm very much a fact oriented reason person. I don't go by emotion very much, and that's pretty typical of people that become meteorologists. So I can guess I sympathize a little bit. U.S. Interstate 12 is entirely within what state? Now, I do know that the interstate highway system, the higher numbers are north, the lower numbers are south. Okay, so the highest numbers are going to be like 94 goes through Michigan, and 90 goes through Michigan, and we've got Interstate 196. We're up in the northern part of the U.S. So if you want the lower numbers, you got to go south. Okay, I know there's an Interstate 4 in Central Florida because I've been on that before. Interstate 10 starts in Jacksonville, and I believe it goes all the way across the country, maybe to San Diego is where it ends. I'm thinking it doesn't really go as far north as Los Angeles. I think that would be 20. Okay, so let's confine this to a southern state. It's Louisiana. I was going to guess Florida or Texas. I thought Texas maybe because Texas is so big, and you could hide an interstate highway in there a little bit easier. Where does Interstate 12 go? I'll have to that maybe Interstate 10. You think Interstate 10 would go through the big cities, New Orleans over to Lake Charles, and then down to Houston. So I'll have to look that one up. Thanks to John Scully. John Scully lives over toward the Grand Haven, Muskegon area, and he gets some wonderful pictures for us and sends them along. And we thank John for using them. We have some beautiful cardinal birds here, and they look like they got some bird seed there, courtesy of John. So they are very happy with the sunshiny weather that we have here all of a sudden. Thanks to John Scully for that. Well, I think we've reached the end here. I hope you enjoyed the trivia here. We'll see if we can come up with more of that. That's really kind of interesting. I'll have to hone up on some of my number 12 trivia here because I missed a couple of those. Thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy the sunshine we have today here and have yourself a great weekend.